Hi guys, Becky Sammy here from beautiful Nelson, New Zealand. Look, it's such an honor and it's so encouraging to have you on my page. I cherish it so much when you comment and you like my posts and you share my posts on your walls, and I just honor and respect you for that. And thank you so much for trusting me with part of your day, basically, and allowing me to speak into your life and encourage you. You're loved, very loved. So, I was having a talk to Kimberly today on my wall, and we were talking about letting go of things that you can't control. And it occurred to me, as I was telling her a little bit about my story, that I haven't actually told you guys much about myself. So, I thought through a series of videos that I might just tell you in small chunks, just different parts about my life, and then just let it all sort of come together in the end. So over the next few days, I'm just going to release just little short little chunks of video where I'm just going to talk about what I've been through and some of the things. And I'm hoping and I'm praying that my story will bless you, and I'm praying that by hearing my story, you will find your voice to actually share your story as well. Because it's by sharing our stories that we can encourage and inspire each other and motivate each other to living better and to rewriting our life. Because your story matters, as I keep on saying. So, in order to start, I think it's best that I start from the very, very beginning. Now, I was born out of wedlock. My mother was a young 18-year-old, and she went on a double date with a Zimbabwean African man, and through a series of events found herself in a compromising situation, and a few weeks later, to her absolute astonishment and surprise, found out that I was coming along. Now, she was an 18-year-old girl, and basically the news was not as happy as one might like. Uh, Her father basically disowned her at the time, not only because she was pregnant outside of marriage, but also she was pregnant with a black man's child. And in those times, there were certain connotations about that. And she found herself in a position where she was pretty much going to be alone. She had the support of her mother, my grandmother, my biological grandmother, who really loved and would have helped, but there weren't that many choices, I guess, for mum in that time period for an 18-year-old who was just starting out in life. And, I honor and respect Daphne, my birth mum, because she made probably what is the hardest decision for a mother to make. And she was so courageous and she was so sacrificial. And by her giving me up, and I'm speaking this as an adopted child who I've lived an amazing life. I have also had some incredibly hard experiences, but her giving me up was the best thing that could have ever happened to me. And it was all in God's plan, you know, and and it would have been hard. I mean, you can't, as a mother, now that I'm a mother, I've realized you can't just cut those feelings off. You can't just stop being a mother. You know, by her handing me over to who became my adoptive parents, she was still, she was grieving. She was having to grieve for that because her maternal feelings and her love for me still remain, and even to this day. But that's where the story gets good. But anyway, I'll get there soon, but let's just keep it in small chunks, huh? So she went to her pastor, and it's an 18-year-old girl, and said to her pastor, "Look, I don't feel that I can provide the life that my child needs. Do you know anyone, a Christian family, that would be prepared to adopt a little black baby?" So her pastor went to ministers fraternal, when all the ministers around the South Island of New Zealand come together and have a conference together, and basically spread the word that one of his congregation was adopting our little black baby. And as my mother tells it, my adopted mother, she says, "Well, I put my hand straight up and Dad put his hand straight up, and then we looked at each other and we realized we hadn't actually spoken about it, but hey, God had obviously been working on us both at the same time." So it was decided that they would adopt me. And from 8 days on from the hospital, basically I went straight from the hospital into their family. And a little tidbit about that side of my story before I end this version for the day is that when I was in the hospital, the nurses, it was custom in the hospital when a baby has no name that they give the baby a name with the letter of the mother's surname. So the letter of my birth mother's surname was R. So the name that the nurses in the hospital had actually given me was Rebecca. When my parents adopted me, the name that they actually gave me, formal name, was Rebecca. And later on, when we had asked Daphne, my birth mother, what she would have called me if she had have held me or kept me, she said I would have called her Rebecca. So, as I like to think, I was thrice chosen. I was chosen by Daphne into her heart. I was chosen by my adoptive family into their family and into their lives. And I was chosen by God as his daughter. So that's just a little chunk of how my life began. Join me next time, and I will tell you some more of my exciting story and God's goodness in my life. Bye for now.